Hello and welcome to another one of my videos. Now today I'd like to return back to a country I've been to relatively recently, and that country is Latvia, and take a look at one of their new improved Latvian rations. This particular one is the NR3 or menu 3. So let's get this on a table and see what this pack contains. And so, as you can see, I now have here on the table this Latvian NR3 or menu number 3 field ration. Now these are some of their new improved rations. I've reviewed a couple before, and in the past they've been a much improved version on the old style ration. This particular one is beef goulash with buckwheat and mushrooms. As you can see, they now come in a Mylar style Ziploc bag, very similar in size to the US MRE and the Polish MREs, with a tear open strip at the top there, so we'll give that a tear. So get that open, so opened relatively easily. You also have a Ziploc seal, so you can reuse the bag, which comes in very handy. So, what does this Latvian new version NR3 actually contain? So straight off the bat, we have a chocolate bar, so a nice bar of chocolate. We have some roasted beans, very different to roasted peanuts, but they are roasted beans. We also have some raisins and almonds, so roasted beans and raisins and almonds. There is some, they've written very small, some toilet paper, some TP. We have, still keep going, we have the flameless ration heater. It's a bit screwed up, but there is a FRH, that's a little bit screwed. We have a contents and ingredient sheet showing the actual contents of the ration. Just move that to one side. We also have a oat flakes with strawberries. Put that with the heater. Very large feeling pack, very heavy feeling. We have the mains in a gusseted pouch, 380 grams of the beef goulash with buckwheat and mushrooms. 380 grams is a very large quantity. Oops, I'm dropping everything here. We have some rye bread. There is a little sachet of honey. We also have here an accessory pack, so we'll have a look at that now while we're here. So within the accessory pack we have some wet naps. We have 2 Nescafe Classic coffees, 3 Nescafe Classic coffees. There is a fruit flavoured tea, a little wooden spoon, still going, and a 20-gram pack of sugar, and a second 20-gram pack of sugar, so plenty of sugar. We have some hydrogel disinfectant gel, ethanol disinfectant gel. There is also some strawberry flavoured gum, and a little sealable bag and an elastic band, obviously for keeping any extra or trash in. So that is the contents of this new version Latvian NR3 field ration. So let's get these out on a tray and see what they look and taste like. And so, as you can see, I now have here laid out on the tray the contents of this Latvian NR3. Now, it's quite a full tray. I'm going to forgo the Nescafe coffee for the hot drink. Nescafe coffee is available in most countries in the world, I'm sure, and nearly all my viewers, I'm sure, is familiar with the flavour of that. If not, I consider it a medium quality instant. It's certainly not the best, but then again, there's far worse. So it's a decent instant. So I'm going to forgo that, and this time have a look for the first time at the fruit tea. This is a fruit herbal tea, which I've not had before, so I'm going to have that. But first, I'm going to start with something that needs 8 minutes preparation, and that is this oat flakes with strawberries. And by the pictures on there, it just says empty into a bowl, add 100 millilitres of boiling water and wait 8 minutes. So 100 millilitres I'm going to do as a best guess. Got a little bit of a cold coming, so you'll have to excuse me if I keep having to clear my throat. So as it says, it's just basic looking oats. I have a bowl here, so make use of that. Cannot see the strawberries, so they must be very small pieces. And to that I'm going to also bring in the US MRE spoon and forego the wooden one which came with a pack. I've used these before. They do actually leave the taste of wood in the mouth, and it does actually ruin the flavour, in my opinion, of the other items. So that's going, and the US MRE is coming in. And as I say, approximately 100 millilitres, or what I consider. I'm just going to give it a little over the top of the contents. I do like my oats porridge a little bit on the wetter side, so just give that a good old mix and leave it a few minutes to do its thing. Just wipe that spoon there. Now I'm going to move along to the fruit tea. So again, 100 degrees boiling water, 5 to 10 minutes. I don't know if you can see there, it's all in diagram form. The tea's tea. I'm not a usual fan of fruit flavoured teas. They always seem to claim to taste of the fruit, but in the UK I can never taste it. It seems to just taste like the leaves off the plant, not the actual fruit itself. So just a standard looking tea bag. And again, as always with these, about half a mug. Usually at home I would do a full mug, but I do like to give these rations the best chance of taste and flavour. So I'm going to give that a little agitation, and we'll just leave that to do its thing. It's already turned a nice pink reddish colour, so we'll leave it there. No cold drink in this ration, so troops always carry water. So as a little palate cleanser, add some of the water. Now, while that's doing their thing, it's time to open all the other items. I'm not going to open the sugar yet. There was 2 large packs of sugar. I might need some in the fruit tea, but sugar's sugar. If I don't need it, I won't use it. So I'm going to have to look now at the 50-gram chocolate bar. Bring in my old friend just to lend a helping hand. So these are all nice fresh rations. I'm not expecting anything to like the chocolate to be bloomed, and it's not. So it's 2, 4, 6 nice chunky cubes of chocolate. We also have some raisins and almonds. So again, I should just, you can see in the packet there, nice large packet. Move these to one side. I just put a few in the corner. I don't need to get them all out. Just a couple of raisins and almonds. And to go with those as well, we have some roasted beans. This is the first time I've come across roasted beans. Obviously I've had peanuts and nuts, but beans is the first time I've come across. So it'll be interesting to see what they're like. And again, large packet, and all I need is just a couple for tasting and demonstration. Just move the rest out of the way there. Moving on round further, and to have a look at the rye bread. As I say, anyone that's seen my rations before know rye bread is not a thing in the UK. It's not a thing that I'm particularly fond of, but I've had these before and they're usually pretty good. If you're a rye bread eater, I'm sure you'll be amazed how good they are for shelf stable bread. Okay, stuck to the packet a little bit. Now what is nice, I've noticed with these newer variants, is they separate the two pieces with a little piece of cling film, which is really helpful. In the old rations they were just stuck together like a brick and you couldn't get them apart, but that cling film really helps. To go with those, I've got some honey, which I shall open when I'm ready to go. We have a wet nap on standby, some power gum, which I shall try at the end. So ready for the mains. This has been boiling for 10 to 12 minutes in water. Beef goulash with buckwheat and mushrooms. It is the new design packet. This particular one was produced in the 10th month of 2021 and was to expire on the 10th month of 2024, so we still have 10 months to go. Nice and fresh, nicely redesigned packaging. You do eat with your eyes as much as with your mouth, so a nice packaging is always good to see. You anticipate something good before you even start when you see a nice pack. Wow. A very large, heavy pack, 380 grams. Most rations are around 300 mark. So this is certainly going to be a filling meal. There is a sort of meaty smell coming from there, very thick, sticking to the spoon. Sort of meal I can tell already, which is extremely comforting and sticks to your ribs. So I've now dirtied that spoon, so I'm going to grab, you've got it, another one. Plenty of these spoons floating around. While I just agitate this tea, give it a little bit of a squeeze to get as much flavour out as I can. To squeeze or not to squeeze, always a debate, particularly with tea, English tea. Some people say it brings out the tannins and makes it a bit bitter if you squeeze the bag. I think it just makes it a little bit stronger, but each to their own. That's one side there. So, start where I always like to start, and that is with the drinks. So this is the fruit flavoured tea. As always, no indication of the fruit in there. It doesn't taste of strawberry, doesn't taste of apple, doesn't taste of blackberry. It tastes like of the leaves again, like most of these do. For me, not great. If you're a herbal tea drinker, I'm sure you'd enjoy that. There is flavours there. But like so many of these herbal fruit flavoured teas, you just get more of a taste of the leaf of the bush. I just wish that sometimes they would actually put some of the actual fruit in there, so it does actually taste like a hot fruit drink. If you're into those teas, I'm sure it'd be very, very enjoyable, but it's just, again, it's just not one of my thing, a personal thing, but it's drinkable. So, moving on, do I go to the porridge first? I think that's probably had enough time now. Oh, really, really thickened. So it's absorbed all of that water. For me, I would probably put a little bit more water in, but we can have a taste as it is. So it's nice and thick, porridge oats style meal. Again, not overly sweet. A little bit powdery. Quite powdery. There's a very strong flour, raw flour taste. I'm adding a little bit more hot water. A little bit more hot water. Get that a bit moister. And I'm also going to add some sugar. Obviously there's honey there. You could add some honey, but I'm going to add a little bit of this sugar to sweeten it. Get a little bit of sugar in there. Okay, see if that's done anything to improve things. I do normally like my sugar in porridge, so I'll give that a little bit of a mix. Bit more moisture, bit of sugar. That's much better, much better. But there is still a powdery chemical background taste. I don't know why that's there. I do eat oats at home, I do eat porridge. The porridge I buy at home would last for 6, 7, 8 years. So no need for the chemical content. It's porridge, it's what most people expect, but I don't know why there is a chemical, heavy chemical aftertaste. Not enjoyable for that reason. Very powdery, very uncooked flour flavour, and a sour chemical. Whether that's been fortified, I did look on the ingredients, it didn't say it was fortified with something, but it's not. That is not just oats, powdered milk and strawberry. There is something else hiding in the back of that. Again, not my favourite. So, time to move on. Let's have a look at the buckwheat porridge. And it looks like it's full grain buckwheat, not ground buckwheat. Again, it's something I do eat at home, but I tend to get the ground. So it's very dense, very coarse. That's better. Nicely salted, nicely peppered. There is a slightly sour tomato hit. Sometimes you have some like marinara sauces or tomato based sauces that can be a little bit sour if the tomatoes are not at their peak. There is a little bit of that going on in the background. The buckwheat has texture, the beef does not, but together it does seem like you're eating a beef meat. Ground beef, minced beef meal. It's salted, it's peppered, it's filling, it's hearty. A little bit more black pepper might be nice, but certainly filling, nourishing. You know when you've eaten that bowl that you've had a heavy meal. Certainly fill the troops when it's needed most. Moving along, I'm going to look at some of this rye bread. Nice and moist, nice and soft. What's that malty, sweet taste. Good quality bread. If it's a thing that you're used to, it's a good shelf stable bread. Try a little bit with the mains there. Personally, I don't think that needs it. It's very heavy, very stodgy, but does go. Does go as a backing. For me it's a little bit sweet. The bread is a little bit sweet as the backing for the mains. It's far, far better to have some of this honey, excuse me. Very, very filling, very hearty meal. So you got to bend the card backwards and forwards, get it to snap. So backwards and forwards, and then you squeeze the honey out. So, and some honey on the rye bread there. It's a far more enjoyable way to enjoy the rye for me. The honey is semi-set. It is a cold day today, very cold actually, so the honey is crystalline a little bit. That said, it's a good honey, nice taste. You can taste the flowers, the nectar, where the bees have been. For me that's always a good sign. Nice, tasty, filling, flavoursome, and a great addition to the rye bread. You could of course put the honey in the porridge, but it's a shame to waste it. The sugar would do for that. Moving along, we'll have a look at some of these roasted beans. They literally are. Look like they're just little tiny beans that have been roasted. Lacking any real discernible flavour. They're not salted, they're not peppered. They do seem like a little bit of a corn nugget crunch type idea, but without the flavour. They're crying out for some help. For me, they'd be much better off going in the mains to add some crunch to the mains. Much better. Using them as another bulking agent, for me I prefer that instead of the rye with the mains. Just gives it some crunch but no discernible extra flavour. There's my palate. Still going. There's a lot of content. This is a very, very hearty single meal. I think it's more like a 12-hour meal to be honest than just a single 8-hour meal. Two of these would do you for a 24-hour period with all the little sundries to nibble on in between the mains. So the mixed fruit and raisins, just standard, quite dry, slightly past their best. In the UK our mixed dried fruit is slightly moister than that. It's very, very dry. I've seen them in other countries though where they're extremely dry. They are what they are. They're raisins and currants. So same with the almonds. Plain, simple, roasted almonds, no salting. Nice. Sorry, raw almonds, not salted or roasted. Nice little trail mix. Mix them all together. Beans, nuts, raisins. They can all go together. Pop them in your mouth. Certainly need a lot of chewing. Easily a 12-hour meal, easily. So I'm looking now at the chocolate as well. 6 big blocks. Nice snap, quite dark looking chocolate. It's a firm chocolate. You need to chew it. Quite a dark flavoured chocolate. Very difficult to hazard a guess at the cocoa content. It's a good quality one. See if it tells you. cannot see the cocoa content on there. I would have to guess, oh, there's 60%. I was going to say 55-60%, but it does say 60% cocoa. That's a nice combination between the bitter and the sweet. The more cocoa and chocolate has, the bitter it gets. I think 60% is the nice combination of the two. Enough sugar to take away the bitterness, but plenty of that chocolate flavour. Fresh my palate. So much food. Now I'm actually eating it and realising how much food there is in this single meal. A little bit of this strawberry power gum. I normally finish these as my meal, but I think this one is a little bit too much for one meal. I shall have to save some of the rye bread and the chocolate and the beans for later on. I'm sure that's what the troops do. So stick them in the pocket and munch them over the next couple of hours till the next one. So a little bit of gum. Not the best gum out there. Slight strawberry flavour. Something to chew, pop in your mouth and chew. But it's certainly not a good quality gum. Not a mouth cleansing gum like mint. But again, you just want to walk along, pop something in your mouth, have a chew. It's perfectly adequate, does the job. I might as well take a look at the wet nap. Nice moist wet nap. Stretchy material rather than paper. Very much like the British ORP ones, but smaller. Very strong. There is a lemony cleaning fluid smell, not a lemon. Very difficult to place, but it's a cleaning fluid smell to them. Nice and wet. Good job. These will actually take some of that soil, some of that muck off your hands when you've been out in the field all day. So, overall, a combination of flavours. Not so keen on the porridge. I don't know why, but that does have some strange chemical powder background flavour more than the oats. I eat oats regularly, daily for breakfast, and they don't taste like that. Something's been added and I can't quite know what it is. Same with the fruit tea. If you're into herbal teas, I'm sure you'll enjoy that, but for me, I cannot taste the fruit. It's just red colours and it tastes like there's some leaves of some sort in there, but fruit I cannot taste. Everything else, filling, enjoyable, tasty, and certainly more than one meal's worth in this pack. So I'm going to leave it there. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, subscribe and hit that notification button for future videos coming very soon. So thank you and goodbye.